What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close in the green, 1.83%. Broader market though was fairly mixed and more oriented towards being bearish. A lot of that did stem from the data that did come out this morning, as well as the FOMC. So ultimately today there was going to be two big things: FOMC minutes, and so that came out at 2 o'clock, and I'd like to say that it was optimistic, but it really signaled that the Feds are just all over the place. There's no clear-cut decision that they have as far as the foreseeable future. So even the last cut that we did get, it looks like even that was divided for December, pretty much against it. So at the end of the day, not necessarily the best. Plus we did also have some negative data first thing, and so we did have mortgage applications and mortgage market index both coming in negative. That initially did cause the likelihood of a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming December meeting to surprisingly go up, because of course that's negative data. But as I mentioned, that FOMC minutes really just popped that likelihood. So currently there is a 32.5% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So it is fair to assume that's pretty much going to be off the table. So as I said, the market was somewhat mixed because of that. SoFi did do surprisingly well, and I know I brought up in my video yesterday how some institutions were selling. Today, somehow just they woke up and decided to buy. So we did see some big transactions both on the secondary market and the dark pool. So these are some of the transactions on the dark pool: 10.2, 7.9, 5.9, 5.1. A lot of that is being done after hours. And you can kind of see SoFi is ripping it higher this during after hours. So today, 25.56 the low, 26.85 the high, and SoFi right now is up 2.28% after hours, and that is because of Nvidia's earnings. So that was going to be that second big kind of point to watch for today, was so FOMC minutes and Nvidia. So we are not crashing, at least today or potentially tomorrow, and so this is going to really push a lot of the AI tech stocks higher. And so yeah, I think in general we can kind of live to fight another day, and again, this could give some good FOMO going into the next couple trading days. Aside from that though, there really wasn't all that much in news associated to SoFi. I did put out my video a little bit earlier yesterday, so I didn't include these. So we did have a couple of Form 4s that was submitted at 6:01 yesterday, and nothing really crazy. One was from 𝗪𝗓𝗓, the other one was from Eric, and so both were just converting the RSUs and then transaction code F, so meaning they were selling for tax purposes. Whenever I see transaction code F, again for taxes, I'm not really worried whatsoever. So that's those two transactions, nothing really crazy if you ask me. Aside from that, shorts, they did return a crazy 18,000 shares. So they were very, very busy today. Obviously I'm joking, but 9.47% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 112.17 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow minimum, this is kind of the highest I've almost ever seen it, and I cover SoFi almost every single day, and so cost to borrow minimum is 0.59%. That might not sound like anything important, but a lot of the brokers that always kind of cause that to go negative, meaning that they pay people to short SoFi, they seem to have effed off. So that's kind of a good thing. DTC sitting at 1.53 days, still very high, does signal that shorts are still very overextended. And over the last several trading days, I know it doesn't sound very important, like I said, but shorts did increase from around 8.26 to where we are now. And I think that they were hedging that Nvidia was going to miss on their earnings and was going to cause like a pull a little bit lower, similar to what happened with Palantir. But looks like the market is done kind of going down, so Nvidia is really going to push the broader market higher. So that might put shorts in a little bit more of a bind. So logically, I anticipate over the next couple of trading days, so shorts to probably return back to that 8% range. So that might be a good thing, adding some good buying pressure. Aside from that, looking at the options, we did see 32 million in calls, 18 million in puts. So very, very low volume. And this is something as well that I did bring up even in my video yesterday. So today we did have a grand total of 49.7 million in total premiums for the options, 61.7 yesterday, 71.4 the day prior, and then 91. So over the last several days, it's honestly been very, very low. So I'm not really sure exactly why. Every single Thursday, we do get that report on kind of the rotation of big money. So that one I'll be really watching for because it'd be interesting to see whether big money was kind of leaving both crypto and equity to go to back to money markets, signaling a little bit more additional fear, or possibly flip side, they were leaving money markets to come back to equity, just basically with everything happening. Maybe they see more upside and opportunity cost with other plays and not necessarily SoFi. So I don't know, we'll have to kind of wait for that data just to analyze, but nonetheless, 46% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $28 range. So that's definitely good. 28 to 28.50 for the most part. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 26. So given the fact that we did hit 25 and change, it is fair to assume that even the bears feel that kind of it's overdone. The sell-off has been overdone. And just to put it in perspective, over the last 5 days, SoFi is down 3.74%, and then over the last 1 month, down 4.42. As I even mentioned in my video yesterday, like yesterday was abnormal. It was lagging other fintechs, but in comparison to what normally happens, SoFi is doing very, very well. So I don't think anyone should really complain about the price action for SoFi because, yeah, it's been doing very well in comparison to, again, a lot of other stocks. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So I brought up the dark pool. These are the ones from the secondary market. Big one was done just after hours, 39.5 million, 9.9, 7.9, 5.08. So a lot of big money was getting in through the secondary market. So again, something to keep in mind. With it closing at 26.72, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So low for today was 25.56, bouncing off of this S2. And I believe this is kind of the second time we did bounce off of this in the last week. So we know at least this is a good support level given where we are at. Price point after hours at 27.33. 27.61 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And then 27.12 followed by 26.81. So for those of you that want to dollar cost average, swing trade, just kind of take a mental note of this. But yeah, I think tomorrow might be a pretty hot day overall. Aside from that though, today we didn't have any new analyst ratings whatsoever. On the chart itself, things are still looking not necessarily the best, so still below both the 10 and also 50-day moving average. You see a little bit more willing buyers from the market position, but all SoFi needs is that nice gentle push to roughly around that 27.50 for the most part, which kind of we're almost there during the after hours. Then you could see a nice push higher to roughly around that 28.60. So all it needs is that nice gentle push, and potentially Nvidia's earnings could be that. One thing as well that most likely will benefit the broader market is analysts giving bullish analyst ratings on Nvidia. And so if they start giving, let's say, assuming, let's say another 20% is on the table or 30%, then you could see a nice domino effect trickle down. Aside from that, there really hasn't been any news associated to SoFi. You see a lot of articles just coming out talking about options and people trying to analyze that, most of which is just AI created. So nothing really coming out associated to SoFi. And then as well, no new analyst ratings. So it was just simply piggybacking off the broader market. Let me know your general thoughts on SoFi. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with SoFi? And then as I mentioned in my video yesterday, as more of a Black Friday type of promotion, I did put this down to $1. And so right now I have around 70. I'm going to cap it at 100 members. So if you want to join, put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, pop over there and check that out. Link to that is in the description below and also the comments. On a side note, obviously I think on this channel I tend to cover the same stuff, so Resolve, You have Virgin Galactic, SoundHound, SoFi, and a couple others here and there, such as 𝗪𝗛𝗪. But if there's any other stocks that you are interested in me covering, throw some tickers in the description below. I'm looking to kind of expand what I cover. Plus, also on a side note, I do have probably too many YouTube channels, but looking to kind of reorganize what I do and kind of put a lot of the EVs in one channel and stuff like that. So if you are interested in seeing some more other content, throw some tickers in the description below. So with all that, appreciate all of you watching.